This is the second dialogue between J. Krishnamurti and Swami Venkatesananda in Gstaad, 1969.
Will you forgive me, Krishnaji, if I inflict myself upon you for a little while more? We are sitting near each other and inquiring, listening and learning. Even so did the sage and the seeker, and that is the origin, they say, of the Upanishads. These Upanishads contain what are known as the Mahavakyas, great sayings, which perhaps had the same effect upon the seeker then as your words have upon me now. May I beg of you to say what you think of them? Are they still valid? Do they need a revision or renewal? I'll see what the Mahavakyas are. Prajnanam Brahma, or as it is usually translated, consciousness is infinite, the absolute, the highest truth. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that infinite, or I is that infinite, because the I here does not refer to the ego. Tattvamasi, that thou art. I am Atma Brahma, the self is the infinite, or the individual is the infinite. These were the 4 Mahavakyas used by the ancient sage to bring home the message to the student, and they were also sitting just like us, face to face, the guru and the disciple, the sage and the seeker.
What is the question, sir?
What do you think of them?
Of
these Mahavakyas? Are they valid now? Do they need a revision or a renewal?
that these sayings, like I am that, Tattvamasi, and the other thing, what was the?
Prajnanam Brahma.
Prajnanam Brahma, yes.
That is, consciousness
is Brahma.
Brahman.
Brahman. Isn't there a danger, sir, of repeating something, not knowing what it means? What does it actually mean? I am Tattvam Asi. What does it mean actually? I am that.
Or the what? That's means the same thing.
Thou art that. I am that. What does that mean? One can say, I am the river. That river that has got tremendous volume behind it, of water, moving, restless, pushing on and on and on and on and on through many countries and so on. I can say I am that river. That would be equally valid as I am Brahman. Why do we say I am that and not the river, or the poor man, or the man that has no capacity, no intelligence, dull, this dullness brought about by heredity, by poverty, by degradation and all that? Why don't we say I am that also? Why do we always attach ourselves to something which we suppose to be the highest?
That perhaps only means that which is unconditioned. Yovai bhuma tat sukham. That which is unconditioned.
Unconditioned, yes.
So since there is in us this urge to break all conditioning, we look for the unconditioned.
And can a conditioned mind, can a mind that is small, petty, narrow, living on superficial entertainments, can that know or conceive or understand or feel or observe the unconditioned?
No.
No. So why should it?
But it can uncondition itself.
That's all it can do.
Yeah.
Not say there is the unconditioning, I'm going to think about it, or I am that. No, my point, if I may point out, why is it that we always associate ourselves with what we think is the highest, and not what we think the lowest?
Perhaps in that Bhuma or Brahman, they have been used as same. There is no division between the highest and the lowest. That which is unconditioned.
But sir, that's the point. When you say, I am that or thou art that, there is a statement of a supposed fact, which may not be a fact at all.
Perhaps I must explain here again that the sage who uttered these Mahavakyas was believed to have had the direct experience of
it. Now, if he had the experience of that, can he convey it to another?
That's what.
And also, sir, the question arises, can one actually experience something which is not experienceable? And we use the word experience so easily. Realize, experience, attain, self-realization, all these things. Can one actually experience the feeling of supreme ecstasy? Let's take that for the moment, that word. Can one experience it? Wait, sir, wait. As you say, the infinite, can one experience the infinite? This is really quite a fundamental question, not only here but in life. One can experience something which we have already known. I experience meeting you. That's an experience, meeting you, or you meeting me, or my meeting X. And when I meet you next time, I recognize you, don't I? Say, well, Joe, I met him at start. So there is in experience the factor of recognition.
That is objective experience.
If I hadn't met you, I wouldn't experience you. I would go by, you would go by me, pass me by. There is in all experiencing, isn't there a factor of recognition?
Possibly.
Otherwise it's not an experience. I meet you. Is that an experience?
Objective experience.
It can be an experience, can't it? I meet you for the first time. Then what takes place in that first meeting of two people? What takes place?
An impression in the mind.
Impression of like or dislike, say by saying he's a very intelligent man, or he's a stupid man, or he should be this or that. It's all based on my background of judgment, on my judgment, on my values, on my prejudice, like and dislike, on my bias, on the conditioning, on the background, right? That background meets you and judges you. The judgment, the evaluation, what we call experience.
But isn't there, Krishnaji, another?
Wait, sir, let me finish this. Wait a minute. Experience is, after all, the response to a challenge. Isn't it? The reaction to a challenge. I meet you and I react. If I didn't react at all, with any sense of like, dislike, prejudice, what would take place?
Yeah.
What would happen? In this relationship in which the one, you perhaps, have no prejudice, no reaction, you are living in quite a different state, and you meet me. Then what takes place?
Peace.
I must recognize that peace in you, that quality in you. Otherwise, you always, I pass you by. So, when we say experience the highest, can the mind, which is conditioned, which is prejudiced, which is frightened, experience the highest?
Obviously not.
Obviously not. And the fear, the prejudice, the excitement, the stupidity is the entity that says, I am going to experience the highest. When that stupidity, fear, anxiety, conditioning ceases, is there experiencing of the highest at all?
That. Experiencing of that.
No, you haven't made myself clear. If the entity, which is the fear, the anxiety, the guilt, and all the rest of that entity has dissolved itself from fear and so on, what is there to experience?
Now, that beautiful question was actually put in just so many words by another sage, talking about Yajnavalkya. He asked the very same question, Vijñātāramare kena vijaniyat? You are the knower. How can you know the knower? You are the experiencer. But there is only one question that, or one suggestion that Vedanta gives, and that is, we are so long talking about an objective experience or paroksha anubhuti. Isn't there another experience? Not my meeting X, Y, Z, but the feeling I am. That is not because I met this I somewhere else, or because I confronted this I somewhere else. I don't even go and ask a doctor or somebody to certify that I am. But there is this feeling, there is this knowledge I am. This experience seems to be totally different from objective experience.
So what is the purpose of experience?
To get rid of exactly what you have been saying, to get rid of fear and get rid of all the complexes, all the conditioning to see what I am in truth when I am not conditioned.
No, sir. I mean, I am dull.
Am I dull?
I am dull.
Or
because I see you or XYZ very clever, very bright, very intelligent.
Let's comparison.
Comparison.
Yeah.
And through comparing, I find myself, I'm very dull. And I say, yes, I'm dull, what am I to do? And just remain in my dullness. Life comes along, incident takes place, which shakes me up. And I wake up for the moment. And
so I was not
dull. Struggle, not to be dull, not to be a little more intelligent, and so on and so on. So experience generally has a significance of waking one up, giving you a challenge to which you have to respond. Either you respond to it adequately or inadequately. If it is inadequate, there is the response then becomes a media of pain, struggle, fight, But if you respond to it adequately, that's fully, that is, you are the challenge. You are the challenge. Not the challenged, but you are that. Therefore, you need no challenge at all.
Yes.
If you are adequately responding all the time to everything.
That is beautiful, but how does one get there?
Wait, sir. Just let us see the need for experience at all. I think this is really extraordinary if you can go into it, you see. Why human beings demand not only objective experience, which we can understand, going to the moon, they have collected a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of rocks and this, that kind of experience is perhaps necessary because it furthers knowledge of factual, objective things. Now, apart from that kind of experience, is there any necessity for experience at all?
Subjectively.
Yeah, I don't like to use subjective and objective. Is there the need of experience at all? We've said experience is the response to a challenge. I challenge you. I said, why? And you either respond to it, say yes, perfectly right, why? I'm with you. But the moment there is any kind of resistance to that question, why, you are already responding inadequately. And therefore, there is conflict between us, between the challenge and the response. Now, that's one kind of thing. Now, there is a desire to experience this, let's say, God, something supreme, the highest happiness, the highest ecstasy, bliss, a sense of peace, or whatever you like. Can the mind experience it at all?
No.
Then what does experience it?
They want us to inquire what the mind is.
No.
What the I is.
No. Why does the I, me, you, or they, or we, demand experience? That's my point. Demand the experience of the highest which promises happiness, or ecstasy, or bliss, or peace.
Obviously, because in the present state we feel inadequate.
That's so.
Correct.
Being in a state in which there is no peace, we want to experience a state which is absolute, permanent, eternal peace. Right?
Just a little...
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
it is not so much that I am restless and there is a state of peace. I want to know,
What
is
peace?
this feeling, I am restless, or if I may, if you may forgive the bad grammar, I is restless. Is the I restless, or is the I dull? Am I dull, or is dullness only a condition which I can shake off?
Now, who is the entity that shakes it off?
Wakes up. The I wakes up.
No, sir. That's why it's difficult. Wait, sir. Let's finish this first. I am unhappy, miserable, sorrow, laden with it, and I want to experience something which has no sorrow, because that's my craving. I want to have an ideal, a principle, or an end, which by struggling, I ultimately get that. That's my craving. And I want to experience that and hold on to that experience. Right? That is what all the, apart from all the clever sayings, clever covering, that is what human beings want.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's perhaps the reason why another very great South Indian said Asha Eramin, Ishanoda Ayanum Asha Eramin, he said. It's very beautifully.
What's that?
He said, cut down all these cravings. Even the craving to be one with God, cut it down, he said.
Yes. No, I understand. No, wait a minute. If the mind can free itself from this agony, then what is the need of asking for an experience of the Supreme? There won't be.
No, certainly.
It has no more. It's no longer caught in its own conditioning. Therefore, it's something else. It's living in a different dimension. Therefore, the desire to experience the highest is essentially wrong.
If it is a desire.
Whatever it is. How do I know the highest? Because the sages have said it. I don't accept the sages. They might be caught in illusion. They might be talking nonsense or sense. I don't know. I'm not interested. I find that as long as the mind is in a state of fear, it wants to escape from it and projects an idea of the Supreme and wants to experience that. But if it frees itself from its own agony, then it is altogether in a different state. It doesn't even ask to experience because it is in quite a different level. Right? Now, why do the sages, according to what you have said, say you must experience that, you must be that, you must realize that?
They didn't say you must,
are. Put it any way like that. Why should they say all these things? Would it not be better to say, look here, my friends, get rid of your fear. Get rid of your beastly antagonism. Get rid of your childishness. And when you have done that,
nothing more remains.
Nothing more. You'll find out the beauty. You don't have to ask them.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That naturally flows on to the last and most important question.
The other way is such a hypocritical state. It leads to hypocrisy. You see, I'm seeking God, but I'm all the time kicking people.
Yeah, that could be hypocrisy.
Certainly. It is.
That leads me on to the last and perhaps very impertinent question.
No, sir, there is no impertinent. Go ahead.
I am neither flattering you nor insulting you, Krishnaji. when I say that it is a great experience to sit near you and talk to you like this. Your message is great. And you have been talking for over 40 years of things you have considered very important to man. Now, 3 questions. Do you think a man can communicate it to another man? Question number 1. Do you think that others can communicate it to still others? If so, how?
Communicate what, sir?
This message that you have dedicated your life to, or whatever you call it. You may call it message, you may
Call it what you like, doesn't matter. Am I, as the person who is speaking, is he conveying you a message, telling you a message?
No. You may call it an awakening.
No,
question.
no. I'm asking you, sir. Just look at it. Huh?
I guess we feel so. The listeners.
What is he saying? He says, look at yourself.
Exactly.
Nothing more.
No, nothing more is necessary.
Nothing more is necessary. Look at yourself. Observe yourself. Go into yourself. Because you, in this state as we are, you will create a monstrous world. You may go to the moon, you may go elsewhere, further to Venus, Mars, all the rest of it, but you'll always carry yourself over there. Change yourself first. Change yourself, not first one. Change yourself. Therefore, to change, look at yourself. Go in, observe, listen, learn, all the rest of it. That's not a message you can do it yourself if you want to.
But somebody has to tell.
I'm telling you. I say, look at this marvelous tree. Look at this beautiful African flower.
Till you said that, I didn't look at it.
Why? Why? It's there, around you.
Yeah.
Why didn't you look?
There could be 1,000 answers.
No. Wait, sir. Look, I asked you to look at that flower. By my asking you to look at that flower, do you look at that flower?
I have
Wait.
the opportunity, yes.
Do you really look at that flower because somebody asked you to look at that flower? Huh? No, you can't. That's just it. I say to you, you are hungry. Are you hungry if I say, no. You know when you are hungry. Now, you know when you are hungry, but yet you want somebody to tell you to look at the flower.
No. I may know when I am hungry, but it is the mother that tells me where the food is.
No. We're talking not where the food is, but we're saying hunger. You know when you are hungry. But why don't you also know, why should somebody tell you to look at a flower?
Because I'm not hungry for looking at the flower.
Why?
I'm satisfied with something else.
No. Why? Why aren't you looking at that flower? Why? First of all, I think we have given to nature has no value at all to most of us. Because we say, well, I can see the tree anytime I want to. That's one thing. And also we are so concentrated on our own worries, our own hopes, our own desires and experiences that we shut ourselves in a cage of our own thinking and we don't look beyond it. And he says, don't do that. Look at everything, and through looking at everything you discover your cage. That's all.
Isn't that a message?
Now it is not a message in the sense.
No.
Call it, doesn't matter what
Yeah,
you call it, message. All right. I tell you that. You play with it, or take it very seriously. And if it is very serious to you, you naturally tell it to somebody. Naturally, you don't have to
Quite
say,
right.
I am going to do propaganda, I'm going to do...
no.
You say, well, look at the beauty of those flowers. You tell that, and that person doesn't listen to you. This is what you're talking. I want a whiskey.
Yeah.
It is finished. So, is propaganda necessary?
Propagation, sir.
Yeah, propagation. That is what
Not propaganda.
propagate. To bring
Yeah.
out, to
Perpetuate, perhaps.
cultivate.
Cultivation is necessary, I suppose.
All these questions are rather. What do you say, sir?
I don't know. I'm waiting.
What are we talking about? That's what I want to know. What is it we are talking about?
These
sir?
40 years of,
Talking.
more.
More,
Not
45
talking.
years.
Not talking.
No, 45.
Millions.
Yes.
Yes, millions of people have been talking,
That's
gossiping,
right.
and wasting their.
Yeah, for 45 years we've been talking, yes. We've been propagating.
Of something which is extremely, which at least I'm sure you consider it extremely important.
Otherwise I won't talk.
Otherwise, exactly. Exactly. Can I must? I hope you will forgive me for all this impertinence.
Sir, there's no impertinence.
I have read some of the books published, but this experience of sitting and talking to you
It's different from reading a book.
completely different.
I agree.
Completely different.
Completely different.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think they've. Last night I read one of the books. They had little more meaning. How does one bring that about?
All right, sir. You are a serious person. Because of your own life, your own serious person. And being serious, and the other person being serious, there is a contact. There is a relationship. There is a coming together in seriousness. But if you are not serious, you would say, well, it's very nice, talk about all these things, but what is it all about? And walk away. Surely, sir, any kind of relationship that has meaning must meet at the same level, at the same time, with the same intensity. Otherwise, there is no communication. There is no relationship. And perhaps that's what takes place when we are sitting together. Because one feels the urgency of something and the intensity of it, and there is a relationship established which is quite different from reading a book.
The book has no life.
And the book has no life whatsoever. The words, printed words, have no life. But you can give life to the printed word if you are serious. The word in itself has,
So how does this go on from there?
From there, you say, how is it possible to convey to others this quality of urgency, the quality of intensity, And action which is always taking place now. Action, doing now.
Yes.
Not tomorrow or yesterday.
Action which meets observation at the same level.
Yes. And it's always functioning. Seeing and acting. Seeing, acting. Seeing, acting. How is this to take place? First of all, sir, very few people, as we said yesterday when we met, about 95% of the people are not interested in all this.
You added 5%.
5% more since yesterday. Quite right. Most of them are not interested in all this, right? They play with all this. There are very, very few really serious people. Now, for the 95%, they say, well, if you are entertaining, it's all right, but if you are not welcome. The entertainment, according to their idea of entertainment. Then what will you do? Knowing there are only very, very few people in the world who are really desperately serious. What will you do? You talk to them, and you talk to the people who want to be entertained. But you don't care whether they listen to you or don't listen.
Thank you.
Either.
Thank you.
I don't say, well, to the people who need crutches, offer crutches. People who want comfort, an avenue of escape, you send,
In the Palace Hotel.
go away somewhere else. I think that's perhaps what has taken place in all these religions and all the so-called teachers. They have said, I must help this man, that man, that man. The ignorant, the semi-ignorant, and the very intelligent. Each must have his particular form of food. They never said, all right, I'm not concerned. I just offer the flour, let them smell it, let them destroy it, let them cook it, let them tear it to pieces. I have nothing to do with it.
Well, the other attitude they even glorified, saying the Bodhisattva ideal and so on.
I say, again, Bodhisattva ideal is, again, but is it not an invention of our own
Quite likely.
desperate hope, desire for some kind of solace? I mean, the Maitreya Bodhisattva is the idea that he has relinquished the ultimate enlightenment and is waiting till all humanity or part of humanity. That's
Thank you.
no, sir. It's actually Vedanta.
The word means the end of the Vedas.
Yes, Vedanta, yes, end of the Vedas.
End of the Vedas. The word. And then
End of the Vedas. Sir, that's just it.
Yeah.
End of the Vedas.
not not in the manner of full stop. but
That's just it.
yeah, not in the manner of full stop.
I'm saying it's the end of all knowledge.
The goal of
The Vedanta,
culmination.
Veda is what they
Knowledge.
have talked about.
knowledge. All
Knowledge. That means the end of knowledge.
Quite right. Quite right. Yes. Yes.
Which
Correct.
they don't.
Correct. Exact. That's the end of knowledge.
End of knowledge.
Yes. It's the end of knowledge. Where knowledge matters no more.
Therefore, leave it.
Yes.
Why proceed from there
Yes.
to describe what it is not?
And as I've been sitting and listening to you also, another great sage is reported to have gone to another greater one. and says, look, my mind is restless, please tell me, what must I do? And the older man says, give me a list of what you know already, so that I can proceed from there. And he says, oh, it takes a long time, because I know all the 4 Vedas, all the Shastras, all this. It's only a set of words. All those words are contained in the dictionary. It's nothing. Now what do you know? He says, if that is word, I don't know anything else.
Quite.
That's
So,
exactly what you have.
if Vedanta is the end of, which is by its own, the meaning of itself is the end of knowledge.
It's wonderful. I never thought of it before.
Yeah.
The end of knowledge.
Freedom from knowing.
Freedom from knowledge, yes. Freedom from knowledge.
Then why have they not kept to that?
Their contention being that you have to pass through that in order to come out of it.
Pass through what?
Pass through all this knowledge, all this muck, and then discard it. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayate. That is, after examining all these things and finding that they are of no use to you, then you must step out of it.
Now wait a minute, sir.
Not again because somebody else said so.
Now wait a minute. Then why must I acquire it? If Vedanta means the end of knowledge, which the word itself means that, the ending of Vedas, which is knowledge, then why should I go through all the laborious process of acquiring knowledge and discarding it?
Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't be again in Vedanta. End of knowledge is having acquired this knowledge, coming to the end of it.
Why should I acquire it?
Because otherwise it can't be ended.
No. Why should I acquire it? Why shouldn't I, from the very beginning, see what knowledge is and discard it?
So see what knowledge is.
And discard, all, never accumulate. Your Vedanta means the end of accumulating knowledge.
Quite. That's right. That's correct.
Then why should I accumulate?
Pass through, perhaps.
Pass through, why should I? So, knowledge. I know fire burns. I know when I'm hungry I must eat. I know I mustn't hit you. Therefore I don't hit you. I don't go through the process of hitting you, acquiring the knowledge that I'll be hurt again. So each day I discard. I free myself what I've learned. Every minute. So every minute is the end of knowledge.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Quite right.
Now, if you and I accept that, I mean, that is a fact. I mean, that's the only way to live, otherwise you can't live. Then, why have they said you must go through all the knowledge, through all this? Why don't they tell me, look, my friend, as you live from day to day acquiring knowledge, end it each day. Not Vedanta, not
No.
I mean, live it.
Quite right. But perhaps again because of this division, classification.
That just it, we're back again.
Yeah. Back again.
We're back again into our
Classification.
fragmentation of life.
Yeah. That I am too dull, I can't get there.
Yeah.
So I rather acquire all this.
And then a discard.
Yeah. Because there are in the religious or spiritual history of India, there have been sages who were born sage, Ramana Maharshi or Shuka Maharshi or etc. They were allowed to discard knowledge even before acquiring it. And in their cases, of course, the usual argument was that they had done it all
in the past life. That just it's no. So apart from the acquiring knowledge and the ending of knowledge, what does Vedanta say?
Vedanta describes the relationship between the individual and
The
cosmic
eternal,
or the infinite or whatever it is. It starts with Ishavasya midam sarvam itkinti jagatyam jagat. The whole universe is pervaded by that one
thing. Yeah.
by that one thing, and so on. And then it's mostly this, a dialogue between a master and his disciple. The disciple questioning.
Isn't it extraordinary? There's always been in India this teacher and disciple, and disciple.
Guru Parampara.
Guru Parampara. It's always this. But they never said, you are the teacher as well as the pupil.
Occasionally they did.
But always with a hesitation, with a apprehension. But the fact is, you are the teacher and you are the pupil. Otherwise you're lost if you depend on anybody else. That's one factor. And also I'd like to ask, why in songs, in Hindu literature, they have praised the beauty of nature. The tree, the flower, the river, the bird. But why is it most of the people in India have no feeling for it?
In lots, dead.
Why?
Dead.
Why? And yet they talk about the in literature, they'll quote Sanskrit, and Sanskrit itself is the most beautiful language.
Kalidasas.
But they've lost.
No feeling.
Why? And have no feeling for the poor man. You follow?
Yeah. That is the worst tragedy, yes.
I know, I don't. To squalor, to dirt, to the...
And heaven knows from where they got this idea, because this idea is not found in any of even the scriptures. That means we are repeating the scriptures without realizing their meaning.
That means we have become...
Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. I am seated in the hearts of all beings. Nobody bothers about the hearts of all beings. What would you think is the cause? Why have they are repeating it day in and day out? Every morning we are asked to repeat a chapter of the Bhagavad Gita.
Every morning we do puja and the Upanaya, the repetition of things.
Now, why have they lost the meaning? Why? Obviously, the great meaning was put into those words by the authors, and we were even asked to repeat them every day in order that we might keep it alive. Where and how did I kill the spirit? Why was it possible at all? And naturally, how to prevent it?
What do you think is the reason, sir? No, I mean, know India better.
I'm shocked at it.
Yeah.
But
why do you think it happens? Is it overpopulation?
No, overpopulation is the result, not the cause.
Yeah. Is it that they have accepted this tradition, this authority? So
but the tradition says something good.
But they have accepted it, therefore they never questioned it. So, I have seen MAs and BAs in India who pass degrees, clever bred, but they wouldn't know how to put a flower on a table. They know nothing but memory, cultivation of memory. Isn't that one of the causes?
Perhaps. Mere memorizing.
Memorizing everything.
Without thinking. Why does man refuse to think?
Oh, that's quite a different. Indolence, fear, wanting always to tread the traditional path so that he doesn't go wrong.
But we have discarded the tradition which, let's say, didn't suit us.
Of course. But what we find a new tradition which suits us and therefore keeps us there safe.
We never felt the healthy tradition is a good tradition to keep.
Yeah. Or throw away all tradition, begin.
Neither these.
And it's very, that's why, sir, whether these teachers and gurus and sages have really helped people. Like whether Marx has really helped people.
No.
They have imposed ideas on them.
And others have used the same ideas.
The same ideas for their own. I mean, therefore I question this whole thing too, because they are really not concerned with people's happiness.
Though they say so.
And if they say so, then they... If the Marxists and all those Soviet leaders are really interested in the people, then there would be no concentration camps. There would be freedom. There would be no repressive measures.
But I suppose they think that we have to imprison the lunatics.
That's it.
Again, the classification of
the
society.
lunatic is a man who questions my authority.
Yeah.
You follow? Obviously. The authority of the Soviets, the authority of whatever it is.
Yesterday's ruler might be today's lunatic.
Of course, that always happens. That's inevitable. But that's why I'm asking whether it's not important to make human being, realize that he's solely responsible.
Each one.
Absolutely. What he does, what he thinks, how he acts, what you follow. Otherwise, we end up in this memorizing and complete blindness.
To come back to that is your message. And how to nail it.
Driving it in every day. And driving it in oneself. Because man is so eager to put his responsibility on others. An army is the safest escape because I'm told what to do. I don't have any responsibility. They've all sorted out what I should do, what I should think, how I should act, how I should carry the gun, how I should shoot, and finished. They provide me with meal, sleeping quarters, and sex, and I can go to the village. And that's the end of it. See, and strangely, they talk about karma.
That's a cover. That's more a cover.
They insist on karma.
That's more a cover. That's more a cover. I mean, at least I was a Brahmin, and I know what happened. We played with that karma and then it came back to us.
They're paying havoc now in India.
We toyed with the idea of karma and we said, it's your karma, you will suffer. My karma is good and so I am the boss, I am the landlord. And now they turn the table.
Quite.
I asked someone was a vegetarian. Oh, she was such a fanatic vegetarian. She said, somebody asked me a question, is pure vegetarianism absolutely necessary for yoga practice? I said, not so important. Let's talk about something else. And she was horrified. She came back to me and said, how can you say that? You can't say that vegetarianism is of secondary value. You must say it's primary value. I said, forgive me, I might have said something, it doesn't matter. And then I said, do you believe in war? Defend defense forces defending your country and so on. Yes, yes. Otherwise, how can we live?
That's it.
We have to. And I said, may I call you a cannibal, and how do you react? Because this man, he kills
100 people.
No, a little bit of fowl or whatever it is.
Animal.
Yeah, and a little small animal to sustain his life. And you are killing 100 people to sustain your life. You are a cannibal, isn't it? She didn't like me, but I think
Good.
I think she saw the point later. It's a fantastic. People don't want to think.
No, sir.
They don't want to think. And I suppose, just like Krishnaji, if you say the truth, you become very unpopular. Apriya setu tattvasya vakta shrota na vidyate, he said. Very beautiful. People love to be pleasant talk, to talk and to hear.
Yeah, quite.
Apriyasya tu pathyasya vakta shrota cha na vidyate.
Yes, quite.
If you say something which is
Unpleasant.
not so pleasant, but which is truth, vakta shrota, one doesn't want to say and one doesn't want to hear also.
Quite.